If you're thinking about moving to the Acreage, also known as Loxahatchee, in western Palm Beach County, Florida, there's a few things that most people don't realize until after they've moved here. This area offers something that's becoming harder and harder to find in South Florida: space, as in land. Room for animals, room for workshops, room for families to spread out. But living on acreage property is a little different than living in a traditional neighborhood with city water and a homeowners association. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 things that people often don't think about before moving to the Acreage, Loxahatchee area of Palm Beach County. I'm Linda Brennan with the Brennan team. I've helped buyers and sellers throughout Palm Beach County, especially the western communities like Wellington, Royal Palm Beach, Loxahatchee, and the Acreage for more than 20 years. If you're researching a move to this area and you have questions about acreage properties, neighborhoods, or what the lifestyle is really like out here, I'm always happy to be a resource. Let's get into the 5 things people often don't think about to ask before moving to the Acreage. The first thing that surprises a lot of buyers when they move to the Acreage is the water system. Most homes out here operate on private wells and septic systems instead of city water and sewage. Many buyers know that going in, they all should, but they don't always understand what that actually means. Not every well produces the same type of water. Wells can be drilled at different depths, and the quality of the water can vary from property to property. Some homes have very advanced systems with reverse osmosis, water softeners, filtration systems, and sometimes even bleach injection systems. Other properties might have higher iron content, which can create rust coloring in the water, and that ends up staining everything it touches. And then sometimes it simply means updating the water treatment system to get cleaner water. Some systems are very basic, and others are extremely elaborate, sometimes even more than what's really necessary. And if it's related to the well, you drill a new well. Occasionally, wells can develop bacteria, which is why testing and maintenance are so very important. But once you understand your system, most of these issues can be managed pretty easily, and having your own system, your own well, can actually be a huge advantage. If you live out here on an acre of land and you want to have a beautiful yard that's landscaped with, beautiful trees and foliage, you're not paying city water bills to irrigate it. Your electric might go up slightly because you're running the pump more often, but most homeowners would rather that over paying for city irrigation and water. And maintaining a well system itself is kind of like having a pool. Some homeowners enjoy learning how to maintain it themselves, and then others would just rather hire a company to come out and service it so they don't even have to worry about it. Once you understand the system, it's really not as intimidating as it sounds. Another thing people don't always realize about the Acreage is how the roads and the layout work. This area developed many years ago, and the road system wasn't originally designed for the population that we have today. Some roads are paved, some roads are still dirt, and even the dirt roads are maintained by Indian Trail Improvement District. So they'll come out and they'll grade the roads and keep them relatively smooth, but Florida gets a lot of rain. So after every heavy rainstorm, the dirt roads can get bumpy again pretty quick. That's something to consider especially if you drive a low profile or a luxury vehicle. Another important thing to understand is the canal system. Palm Beach County uses canals throughout the area for drainage because our water table is so low. That means not every road connects all the way through. Sometimes what looks like a direct route on a map actually dead ends at a canal. Before GPS, people used to get lost out here all the time. Now, navigation apps make things much easier, but it's still helpful to understand the layout when choosing where you want to live. And if you're buying property along a canal, that can be great drainage. But it also means that you might occasionally see some wildlife like alligators, which are simply part of living in Florida. Before we move on to the next point, if you're researching moving to Loxahatchee or the Acreage and you just want to ask a few questions about neighborhoods, commute times, schools, or acreage properties, I offer a quick 15-minute introductory call where you can ask anything about the area. There's no pressure, It's simply a chance to get clarity before making decisions. You can schedule that using the link in the description. Another important thing to understand about living in the acreage is the land itself. Some buyers hear about agricultural exemptions and assume that they can simply add a few animals and dramatically reduce their property taxes. But that's not always how it works. Most properties out here are classified agricultural residential, not automatically agricultural exempt. To qualify for an agricultural exemption, the land usually has to be used for legitimate agricultural activity, like livestock, beekeeping, or certain types of agricultural businesses. And even then, the exemption typically only applies to the portion of land actually being used for that activity, not the entire property. So trees are another factor that buyers should think about. Some trees are native to Florida and are protected, so you can't remove them without getting a permit or replacing them with the same kind. Others, like Australian pines, are considered invasive and are encouraged to be removed in many areas. The types of trees on a property can also tell you something about the land. For example, if you see a lot of cypress trees, that may indicate lower or wetter areas on the lot. Large trees can also affect septic systems. Roots from big Florida oaks or banyan trees can eventually grow towards the septic system or your foundation. And during very wet summers or large storms, big trees can occasionally fall when the soil becomes saturated. If the roots are on your property and the tree falls onto the neighbor's fence, you may be responsible for removing the tree and repairing the damage. So while mature trees are beautiful and provide shade, they're definitely something buyers should evaluate carefully when purchasing acreage property. Another question people often ask is whether living in the acreage feels isolated. The answer is not nearly as much as people would expect. Amazon delivers out here, food delivery comes out here, and most grocery stores, restaurants, and shopping areas are typically within 20 to 30 minutes away. But drive time is something that you should definitely think about. The acreage only has a few major roads, 3 major roads running north and south, and a couple running east and west. So during peak hours, the roads can get congested, especially with all the growth happening in nearby communities like Westlake. So the long-planned State Road 7 extension should eventually help alleviate some of the traffic along North Lake Boulevard. Families also want to think about school transportation. Palm Beach County does offer school buses, and Florida has a choice program where students can apply to attend schools outside of their assigned zone for things like biotechnology or engineering or pre-med programs. And they will provide some busing, but you have to sign a paper that's going to say you're responsible for the student to get there in case that bus is not available. But even when a school looks close on the map, canals and layout sometimes turn what looks like a short drive into a longer commute. The good news is convenience has improved a lot over the years out here. When we first moved out here, there weren't even gas stations nearby. Now with the growth in nearby communities like Westlake, more restaurants, stores, and services are moving closer. While the acreage still feels private and rural, it's not nearly as remote as it once was. And now with all of that said, you might wonder, why do people still choose to live out here? The answer is simple. They want space. Not massive ranches, but enough space to create a life that feels like your own. Many properties are about 1.25 acres or more, which allows people to do things that simply aren't possible in traditional neighborhoods. You can build a barn, add a detached garage, create a guest house or a workshop, raise chickens or goats, and even keep horses. Florida is also an outdoor playground, so people often have boats, jet skis, swamp buggies, and other toys. So living in the acreage allows you to store those things on your own property instead of paying storage fees somewhere else. It also gives kids room to grow up differently. They can run around their own yard, practice sports in the nearby parks, they can build things in their shop, and just spend time outside in the beautiful Florida sunshine. And something else people often discover is the community. Even though properties are spread out, the acreage has a strong sense of neighbors helping neighbors. After storms, neighbors help each other. They bring meals, They help search for lost pets, or they help clear debris off the property. And often, that's for complete strangers. It's a place where people can still look out for each other while maintaining their own privacy. And that combination of space, freedom, and community is what keeps many families here for decades. If you're considering a move to Loxahatchee, the Acreage, Wellington, or anywhere in Western Palm Beach County, and you'd like help understanding the different areas and acreage properties, I'm always happy to help. You can schedule a quick 15-minute introductory call using the link in the description. It's simply a chance to ask a few questions about the area before you make any big decisions. And if you decide you want to go deeper after that, we can always schedule a full buyer consultation. And if you already live in the acreage, I'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite thing about living out here? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.